Welcome to The Real with Joseph Labman. I am Joseph Labman. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of The Real, taking time out of your day to come watch this episode. I really appreciate that. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe for me. I'd really appreciate that as well. That's the best way you can support this channel and help me grow my content and grow this channel to where I'd like it to be. Everybody hit the like button for me on the way in on this video today. That also helps promote this video more in the algorithms, helps grow this channel more as well. Please share this content. I would really appreciate that. My guests would as well. If you would please share this episode with someone you know that maybe is interested in the topic we're talking about today. Please leave a comment below as well. We'd love to hear your guys' feedback. You can interact with myself and the guest on the panel and the live chat as well. Whatever we're talking about, just leave a comment there in the live chat. Pop in and say hello. We'll put it on the screen for you. And yeah, without further ado, let's get to the show. Welcome back to The Real with Joseph Labman. I am Joseph Labman. Welcome in. Happy Sunday night to you guys. If you're new here, please like, subscribe, and share. And yeah, looking forward to tonight's show. Had some news today. Kenny Pickett pulled his hamstring, I believe. It's a hamstring injury. And so we're going to get into that now, what that means. Could Shedeur Sanders and Dillon Gabriel possibly start week one? We're going to get into it and break it down. And so, but before we do that, let me get to somebody's comments here real quick. He said, only if they think Pickett is elite. He stinks. I'm glad that the clowns are out of the front office. I'm sick of it. Yeah. If Kenny does start, we would be lucky to win 4 games max. Give Shedeur a fair chance. So I might get into that too. I'll start that. Appreciate you, Parent John. Good to see you, brother. Humble, my guy. He said, my guy, Joe, my guy, Humble. He's out busting his ass this week. He's out working right now. So appreciate you, Humble. Love you, brother. Keep up the good work and hold down the chat as always. But before I get going tonight's show, I couldn't do the show tonight without my man, the myth, the legend, Sir Michael in today. Mike, what's happening?
Hello, beautiful people. Hello.
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 How you doing this evening?
Yeah, I was just see how far you could go with it. Yeah, I love you, Humble. We love Humble over here. Shout out to Humble.
Yes, we do. Shout out Humble.
Too. Shout out to Parent John Humble. They get a round of applause as well. But Mike, before we start with tonight's show, we're gonna address some things first, briefly. Not a lot, because it's kind of silly, some of it. But yeah, I did a show the other day, Mike. First off, Mike, what was your reaction to my show the other day? Because I went a little bigger than I think I anticipated, but I'm fine with that. It was a great show in terms of numbers and getting input and feedback from people, and we got new subscribers. Shout out to all new subscribers. But Mike, what was your reaction to the other day's show?
I thought it was a great deep dive into like the aura surrounding what could happen next year. I mean, it really went into exactly. Andrew Berry being on the clock, how you think Dillon Gabriel was his guy and he needs it to work quickly because Kevin Stefanski is more than likely safe. But if anybody in the Browns front office is on the block, it would be Berry. Now, me personally, I like Andrew Berry. But some things have gone awry over his tenure, reasonably so, that he could be on the block. And you provided excellent insight into that, especially the fact that Colin Cowherd's statement of Arch Manning, Nick Saban combo in Cleveland, and how you said that didn't make sense because Kevin Stefanski and Nick Saban have the same exact agent. And then you touched briefly on training camp and what's been going on between Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders, but you really didn't cover it all that much. It was more of a deep dive into just the optics of what's going on. I thought it was excellent insight.
Did I at any point push a narrative about Shedeur Sanders in a negative way?
No, we don't do that here.
If anybody I thought I was hard on was Kenny Pickett, and the poor guy got hurt.
Yeah.
And shout out to Kenny Pickett. I hope he gets healthy. You don't want to see anybody get hurt. I know that athlete, that sucks. But yeah, so we had some feedback. A lot of the feedback we had actually was really good. And we had a lot of people who watch our show and subscribe who are Shedeur Sanders fans have followed him, who actually been great. People like Rodney. We have another gentleman named Lawrence. I saw he commented. He's been great. And even if they don't agree, they're very respectful, and they act like adults and they act like human beings. You know what I mean? It's just football at the end of the day. None of us, most likely, I don't think any of them, unless, I don't know these people, but I highly doubt any of us actually even know Shedeur Sanders or know any of these people or what's going on. We're just spectators from the outside. And so when I get comments, people saying you're a, this and that, name calling and all this, like, number one, you don't know me. So that's weak in itself. And number one, I don't care about words. You're not offending anybody with words. And number two, nobody's pushing narratives over here. Mike's not pushing narrative. Jersey's not pushing narrative. Gergs isn't pushing narrative. Dan's not pushing a narrative. I'm not pushing a narrative. Anybody that's part of the real media, that's a five. Nobody's pushing a narrative. That's number one. Number two, these people amaze me. I mean, as much time as you spend going from chat to chat all day long, because it's the same ones that go around talking shit all day long in other people's chats. Number one, put the phone down, get your ass off your ass, and go do something productive with your life. That's number two. And number three, as much energy as you people put into this stuff and how you go around and try to defend one man. Somebody put in the comments today, Mike, that one of the reporters is ungodly and all this. And I'm thinking, you know what's ungodly? Idolatry of one person. That's what's ungodly. The person you put out there like he's Jesus Christ, he does no wrong, and you got to go out there and do everything and everything to defend this guy and go and attack people you don't know and go way out of your way, and your whole day revolves around it. Even Shedeur Sanders or any of these players who, and I like Shedeur. Mike likes Shedeur. I'm actually been a fan of Shedeur for the last 2 years. I've watched every Colorado game just like all of you. I even watched them back when they were in Jackson State. I like Shedeur Sanders, and so does Mike, and so does some other people on our show. But this weird stuff around not just him, but a lot of athletes and really just people in general, this weird idolatry amongst celebrities, like that's a waste of time. I mean, these people, it just amazes me, Mike, how many of these people they will go and defend all these other people they never met in their life more than they defend themselves or their own. I mean, look at all these men out here that go out here and defend other men. I heard Kwame Brown say today, all these men that go out here and defend other men, but we don't even protect our own women anymore. I mean, think of that. And so, number one, if you come in our chat talking shit, you can just get the hell out of here. Don't waste your time. Do me a favor. Don't ever come back again. All right? We don't want you, if you're going to come over here and act like an idiot and troll, you'll just get removed from the comments. I hope you find some other positive stuff on this channel. Maybe we can help you. But other than that, we're not going to entertain you. We're not going to entertain that stuff. We're not going to entertain that stupid crap that goes around here. I've seen it. It's all over. There's certain reporters right now in Cleveland market, Mike, that can't even put the comments up anymore because people disagree with their opinion. And so they go and attack these people like it's their whole life depends on it. But I mean, I wonder if these people put this much energy in their own life.
And here we don't mind respectful disagreement.
No,
like if you disagree with us and you want to talk about it, we'll talk about it with you guys.
And we drop the link all the time. And I've banned people in comments that are actually nice people. We just read it first and it ended up being cool. You know what I mean? Like, again, everything in my show the other day was not pushing there. It was all I did was react to news that's being reported by people.
Right.
You guys got to remember these reporters that you think are putting out agendas. Now, here, let me clear this first. Are there some reporters out there that put out agendas? I think absolutely, and I think they should be called out on it. However, a lot of these reporters, they put out narratives that they're being fed by the team's media person, that the head of the media. That's what the team, whatever these reporters are putting out, that's what the team wants out there. I hope you guys understand how that stuff works. I think a lot of you don't. You just think it's just they're just hating, or they don't like this, or they're racist, or all that, or whatever. Do those people out there exist? Absolutely, but that's a lot of these people that they're just puppets for what's not honestly puppets, but they're just what's a good way to put it, Mike? You know what I'm saying? They're just mouthpieces, let's say, for information that needs to be put out there. We know who I'm talking about. We all know it. We're not going to call out names. And I ain't hating on those people. Hey, that's their job, whatever. But nobody over here, and really, I don't think any of those people are really pushing any narratives. They're just reporting what they see or what they, and sometimes if that's their opinion. There's a lot of reporters I don't agree with. Yeah, I think some. Hell, I'll be honest. I've come on the show many times. So half these people on the internet and cover the Browns and all. I don't think they should be covering football at all, because I just don't think. A lot of them. I would kind of question their how they see the game and stuff. But that's okay. That's their right. I mean, I ain't hating on anybody. But again, so going back to the main point though, don't go around. If you're going to spend that much time going around all day and trolling, why don't you just make your own podcast and I'll subscribe to it? You know what I mean? As much time as you go and do it in terms of commenting on other people's chats and leaving nasty comments or Shedeur Watch 24/7 or whatever quote. Maybe it's Dillon Gabriel. People, I don't know, whoever it is. Why don't you just make your own podcast and do it your way, and then you can do it the way you want to do it. And maybe if you have some real conviction and you actually believe what you say, people will follow you. Trust me. We started this 3.5 years ago from the bottom, zero help, zero subscribers, and we built it up because Mike and I and the people that we brought along the way, we stand on conviction what we say. We believe what we say. We're not always right, but we're not afraid to say what we feel either, what we see. So it is what it is at the end of the day. And so that's all I got to say about that. And it's like what I posted the other day right here, the LeBron meme. But focus on what it says there, though. And I think this is a good lesson for everybody. Quote, what people say is a reflection of them, not you. And so, honestly, I prayed for a lot of people the other day. I wasn't upset. I wasn't with some of the comments. I'm not used to it. In a way, although I am. I mean, I had some past experiences in my life. I went through a lot of stuff where people said mean things to me and my teammates, some racist things. Actually, I saw some of my fellow teammates get called names and stuff walking out of a stadium. Had a lady put a paper in my face. I mean, I've seen some shit and I've seen some hatred in my life. But when I see stuff like that directed towards this, we haven't actually had a lot of we've had I'd say 98% positive reactions.
Yeah.
And really, that's great. Maybe 98.9%, honestly. But again, when you see stuff coming this way, or not say coming this way, when you see people directing hate, and this for anybody out there, just focus on that quote right there. It's not a reflection of you; it's a reflection of them. They got so much hate and anger and bitterness in their heart that they got to go take it out on other people and try to live through somebody else, some athlete or whoever they don't even know, and try to defend that person. And so you need to pray for those people because those people, they must be in a dark spot to go around and do that. You know what I mean? And so Mike and I will continue to pray for you people out there, but pray for everybody, really, not just for certain people, everybody. We need prayer as well. We all need to grow as society and be better as people, especially better as men. And we got some shows coming up about that because I'm being back out again has been great, but man, I've seen a lot of stuff in the last 10 years, how things have changed in the last 10 years. I'm kind of like, man, men have really dropped the ball in a lot of ways. And so, really people in society, our society in general has dropped the ball in a lot of ways. And, we need to get back to some things that are actually good for us and get back to listening to each other, having respectful conversations, and just being good people that are there for each other
Right.
and don't judge other people. Just because somebody disagrees with me politically or they're different than me and by their looks, physically, mentally, emotionally, spirit, whatever it is, I don't care. I care about you. And that's how Mike is. And I know that's how everybody in this part of the show is. And people like Humble in the chat, we all just want to, we just care about each other. We care about the heart. We look at the heart first, not anything else. And we were there to help people. That's what this channel was founded on, was helping people. And sports is really just a pastime for us to have fun and talk about the thing we love, which is covering Browns football and other sports as well. So, but that's all I got. But in all seriousness, love everybody out there. If you don't like what I said the other day, still love you anyways. It's all love. But that's all I got, Mike. You got anything else you want to add to this? I know you had some stuff. Go ahead.
Yeah, I kind of said my small little tidbit, just addition to it. Like, yeah, well, there was here we never bashed any player here. We're never going to insult any player. Maybe Kenny Pickett a little bit, but we hope he gets back healthy. But yeah, no, we don't actually. We don't hate any of these players. We don't dislike any of these players. And as far as Shedeur goes, I thought it was weird how there are people. We just report the news. At the end of the day, and we just cover the reports and we give our opinion on it. But we're both on record saying that we think Shedeur is the most has the most upside out of any of the quarterbacks in that room, and we hope that both of us hope that he can get a chance to actually play and get more reps, all that good stuff. But yeah, we don't mind respectful disagreement. Hell, we encourage it if you disagree with us to share your opinion, but it's all respectful. Like we're never going to insult you guys, and we hope it's vice versa. At the end of the day, Joseph said it perfectly. It's just football, just talking about a game that we all love to watch. So, you know, that's about the crux of it.
Yeah, and yeah, 100%. And I saw this video today too, Mike, a little bit ago, and it made me think of these kind of people that go around here and harass people's channels like that, or try to, I don't want to say just channel, just people that act like this in general. These are the type of people now, Mike, that are raising our kids. A lot of them, and they're raising our kids to do stupid stuff like this. And when I say this, I'm not talking about this kid here. Watch this video here. This is my man D Rich. Shout out D Rich TV, Akron, Ohio. He reacted to this video today, and I thought he hit the nail right on the head. But watch here when this kid scores a touchdown and what he does after. And this kid, this behavior here was clearly taught to him. He thinks this is okay. It's not his fault. But are we really setting our kids up to succeed with this type of behavior at this age in particular? This kid's at. I think this kid's probably around, this got to be 8, 9 years old. It looks like Pee Wee Pop Warner. So let's take a listen here.
That a young man should score a touchdown in a youth football league game and then hump the ground as a celebration. It's a video making its ways online of a young man scoring a touchdown and then he humps the ground, and you can see the coach meet him in the end zone, and he's condoning this behavior by telling him to do that shit. And it actually surprises me. Well, nothing surprises me in 2025 because it's actually people in the comments of the original video who actually condone this behavior. This right here is not cool. Now, if he did push-ups or if he flexed his muscles, that's okay. But it's very sad to see that it's adults who actually condone this behavior. But I also understand that the adults of today are very childish. And I'm even talking about myself because it's times when I laugh at stuff that I'm not supposed to be laughing at. And I think to myself, when the hell am I going to grow up? It seems like the adults back in the day were more adultish than we are today, and that's due to the internet, because the coaches that I had when I played Pee Wee football would not condone this behavior, and you might be kicked off the team. At the minimum, you'll be suspended for at least a half or a game because this behavior is not acceptable. But I also love the fact that this young man is on the football field and he's not in the streets. And I'm not going to come on here and bash the coaches. I'm not going to come on here and bash that staff because they are taking time out their day to coach these young men on the football field. And for all the people out there in the comments who are specifically blaming the coaches, why don't you go out there and coach? You know why you're not going to do it? Because these coaches have a very hard time taking time away from their family, taking hours a day to go to practice and travel with these young men on weekends to football games. So I'm not going to bash the coach. All I'm going to say is this is a new generation, and this new generation is childish, and I'm even speaking about myself. The old days are gone. The OGs of the old days are no longer here. It's a new day and age when it comes to the type of football coaches that we have in youth football.
And so, shout out to D Rich. Good guy. I met him before in the past, but I think he said a lot of facts there, Mike. Like Parent John said, straight facts. But I just saw this earlier, Mike, and made me think about it. Like he said the word there, childish, and that's why I was going back to my rant I just had, Mike, about a lot of men acting childish, going in people's chats, saying childish things, not approach people like adults anymore, and having actual, real intellectual conversations. You know, I'm not going to sit up here and bash those coaches either. I think, like you said, it's great to see that other men are out there giving time to these kids. I know what that meant to me as a kid, and I could speak on youth football because I was arguably part of one of the greatest teams ever in youth football, according to some. And I'm not just say that. Go ask anybody in Ohio about 2012 Varsity Black won the national championship. Your team was loaded, and that team also had a storybook season, like unlike any other. Like I mentioned it earlier, our whole league turned against us. You know, we had certain kids on our team who people didn't like in terms of racism, you know what I mean? And, you know, I saw walking out of a stadium many times. People would call us names, and people called the news and the police on us, Mike, and said we played too rough. I mean, it was crazy. And we played against older competition too, but remind you, we played against high schoolers that year and we're beating their ass. So I've seen all of it. I've seen the worst worst brawl I've ever seen in my life was in person. It was a Cleveland team versus Detroit team, and we were getting ready to play Bookville, and us and Bookville were sitting there on the side watching it. It was the craziest thing I ever saw down in Columbus ever. I think you can go look it up on the news. It was in Gahanna in 2012, youth football brawl. Go look it up. And so I've seen all. I've been around it all, and I take it very seriously, this youth, because I know what it meant to me as a kid. And I know how much it means to other people, like he was saying there, especially certain people that come from low income and bad cities. That's all they have. Better be down the streets, go use that aggression, go play football and be something productive in a productive environment. But we cannot, the childish stuff again, though, like he was saying there, we can't promote that to our kids. No kids, and especially at any age, really, no kid should be going out there and humping the ground. And in the NFL, I think that's a flag, Mike. Right? I think certain celebrations you still get a flag on. I mean, I've seen a guy try to act like it's a dog pissing on a thing, and he got a flag. I got fined, I think. So we can't be putting this stuff in our kids' heads. We can't be out here promoting this stuff. I get it's fun, and we're out there having a good time, but we gotta pull it back. At the end of the day, a coach is supposed to be out there coaching. Some of the best coaching I ever got wasn't always fun, Mike. You know what I mean? It was actually good, and it wasn't just screaming and yelling either, but it was good. Learning lessons. You know what I mean? It was good teachable moments, and that stuff helped me as I got older. Because a lot of these kids, they don't have that. So you got to be the coach there. You got to be able to show them and guide them and lead them in the way in which they should go, and help. Show them, especially these young boys, show them some good. What men should look like, how men should act. And like he said, that we shouldn't be acting childish. We should be showing them what men act like and how they should lead. No more followers. We need a leader. That type of behavior there, that's just trying to be, to me, that's follower behavior because it's just all for clout. And they got the attention they wanted. You know what I mean? It went viral and now people are reacting to it. But I want to see that kid go viral because he's a hell of a football player. And I want to see that coach go viral for all the men he helped put in school and graduate. That's what I want to see. And so, yeah, I just want to touch on that real quick. You got anything you want to add to this, Mike?
No, it was perfect.
All right. I'm going to let you have the floor now, Mike, because I actually got my dinner, too. I got to eat still. So, the battle continues, Mike. The main topic of the show. Kenny Pickett, like I said, Mike, out with a hamstring injury. Yeah, so and now it looks like the battle, Mike, is down to Joe Flacco and the two rookies, Shedeur Sanders and Dillon Gabriel. Where do you stand? You can have the floor, Mike. I'll let you take it away for a little bit. What's your thoughts right now on the quarterback battle with Pickett out now? Your overall thoughts with camp so far over the weekend since the last time you spoke on it? And can these guys actually have a legit shot to start week one now? Because a lot of people think Flacco's look kind of old, Mike.
Yeah, so mixture of a couple things. Flacco has had good days and bad. He has looked, old is a good way to put it. Like he'll have spurts where he looks like he's the best quarterback on the team because of his expertise and his experience. He has looked great in spurts, but there are other times where Flacco just can't get the ball out of his hand. The offensive line is holding up a touch better, but the defensive line has been insane. Mason Graham is as advertised. Malik Collins has looked great. Myles Garrett looks like a tip-top shape. Even Isaiah McGuire's put on weight. The DBs are looking really, really good. First team reps have been split between Dillon and Joe. Dillon Gabriel, I will admit, has impressed me over the past couple days. I was a big critic of him, as were most when he was drafted in the third round. But admittedly, he has looked impressive in training camp. He's reading the field quickly. He's getting the ball out of his hands. Now, some throws have been so-so. Some throws have been overthrows. But here, learning, that's what training camp's for. But he's making the right reads, and his deep ball accuracy looks pretty good. Shedeur Sanders had an incredibly productive day yesterday. He threw 3 touchdowns. He was in second team yesterday, so he's no longer throwing to equipment managers. I think it's good to note that Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry were watching Shedeur with the second team for the entire duration of his second team reps that day, and that was a great day for him. Luke Froya, number 37, for those of you who don't know, we've covered him a couple of times. I'm sure if you're a Browns fan, you know the name. Local Cleveland area kid, went to Kent State. His receiver was a UDFA. Has been making plays in second team. They had him in third team. They moved him up to second team. I think they even had him run with the first team a little bit. He has looked impressive. I think he's going to make the 53. The more I watch the kid, he's really fast out of his route. He's perfect for a slot receiver role. He's hard to bring down. He's elusive. Smart player, too. I really like the kid. Dylan Sampson, and I'm sure we'll all be happy to hear this because Quinshon Judkins is out for at least 6 games. Dylan Sampson has looked excellent. Jerome Ford's put on some weight. But honestly, as far as the quarterback competition goes, I really think it is possible that the Browns are positioning one of the rookies to start week 1. Or at least both of the rookies might be QB1, QB2, respectively. And I would be surprised if early this week we see Shedeur Sanders get some first-team reps because here, Kenny's going to be out a number of days with a hamstring injury. He hasn't looked particularly good in his first-team reps. He's not picking up pressure well. He's not reading the defense well. Same problems that he had in Pittsburgh. So I think it's going to be down to these 3. I think Dillon has looked much better than people anticipated. Shedeur is looking as advertised, but I wouldn't be surprised if one of the rookies starts. Now, I will give a slight edge to Dillon Gabriel starting, and that is not a talent thing. They both looked equally good. Now, if Shedeur really overachieves and continues to look great, I don't doubt that Shedeur will be QB2 or will have a chance to start the season. I think Dillon Gabriel they're going to want to see first just because they've already given him so many first-team reps, and also because he is a 3rd-round pick, whereas Shedeur is a 5th. I know that shouldn't matter, but it does. But yeah, Shedeur has looked great. Dillon Gabriel has impressed. He's looked better than I anticipated. Joe Flacco does look a little old out there, but here, if he's on the team and he's giving these young quarterbacks some advice, I think that does wonders for young quarterbacks' confidence and for their progression. But yeah, the team, the offense is looking like it's a work in progress, as we all knew it would be. The defense looks excellent. All of the rookies that we drafted on the defensive side of the ball, I have no doubt will contribute mightily in year 1 of their career. Mason Graham and Carson Schlesinger specifically. Paramjot brings up a good question. Who will start opposite of Miles? As of right now, I give a slight edge to Isaiah McGuire. Now, Alex Wright looked really, really good before he got hurt, but Isaiah McGuire ended last season as one of the best run defenders in the NFL, and he put on some weight. If he can rush the passer, I mean, Isaiah McGuire will be a dude, and Alex Wright will no doubt be in the rotation, but I'm going to give a slight edge to Isaiah McGuire being the starter outside of Miles, and then Joe Tryon-Shoyinka is probably going to be your 3rd-down pass rusher. But yeah, it's been a really fun training camp so far. Offense makes me worried, not going to lie. Harold Fannin has had great moments, though. So is David. The offense is sputtering a bit. They were really, really hoping on Quinshon, and it's a damn shame that he's just not going to be available. It's his own damn fault, but that's the way the news goes, as it were. But Dylan Sampson has been looking excellent in camp. Jerome Ford, exactly what he is, what he can give you. Maybe back in the wide zone scheme, he can give you a little bit more. Really hope we don't have to see Pierre Strong on the field ever again. No offense. He's great in special teams, great special teams player. He's probably one of our better special teams players, great tackler in special teams, but I don't really want to see him run with the ball in the hand anymore. But yeah, it's been interesting. I'm curious to see earlier in the week how they divvy up these reps now, and see if Shedeur does get some more first team reps, and to see if Dillon does continue to progress as he has, because he's impressed me. I'll be the first to admit
it. Great job there from Michael Kincaid.
Of course.
Man, it's good stuff tonight. Look up at somebody's comments real quick. I'll hit on what you said. He said, "Amen to liking the whole Sanders family." This brown uniform is brought to you by Dude Wipes.
Great product.
And it is a great product. And the guy fell in the freaking lake from Dude Wipes too. So, he said, "Facts that Joe and Mike, you are great people. Anyone who doesn't like you guys aren't genuine people. Mike and Joe, you guys are and always have been down to earth. Love you guys, man. I see y'all go really far.
Appreciate that, Humble.
That's why we got people like Humble. You know what I mean? Shout out to Humble. Shout out to Humble. We love you, Humble. We appreciate you guys' support and all you guys. Rose going crazy. Okay. I'll always be here for you too, man. I mean that, Joe and Mike. We're always here for you too, Humble. He said, "What's up, my people? What's up, Parent John?" He said, "I wonder who will be opposite of Miles." You just answered that. I was going to draft Q 2-man. What is this? I was going to draft.
He's saying I was going to draft Q2, man. Messed up my fantasy plans.
Oh,
yeah, he was because I was talking about Quinshon. Yeah,
right, I'm not used to that name yet. Sorry, I'm not used to Q.
No, you're good.
I got you, brother.
Yeah, I mean, it's a damn shame. The plus is you're gonna find out what Dylan Sampson's like immediately, and the dude's a baller. I think he's gonna see a lot of playing time here. I like Jerome Ford, but I would have preferred him on as the third running back over than the starter or running back 2. That's just me. But
Well, I like that he put on weight because that tells me he knows what the role he has to play this year, which is more of a bell cow back, which is what he was in Cincinnati. And I watched him all those years down in Cincinnati. He played with 2 of my former teammates. One of them my good friends, one of my best friends, brother of mine. Shout out to him if he's watching. But I think so. That's a good sign to me because I think Jerome Ford with the right amount of opportunity can really produce. I think he can produce the numbers and production you need from him. He showed it in college. I think he walked into a situation where you still had Nick Chubb, and Nick Chubb got hurt that year, and then they brought in Kareem Hunt. He's a rookie going through all this, and you had one system for Deshaun, and yet all this PJ Walker and Dorian Thompson-Robinson. Then here came Flacco, and then once Flacco took over there, I think Jerome Ford really found a role in that offense and started to flourish. And for a rookie, I thought he played pretty well, actually. I don't know why people hate on the kid, but he actually played pretty well. Then last year, I thought he should have got more carries, averaged over 5 yards an attempt. And a lot of those plays, he had big explosive plays. If a guy is because I heard people say, well, he only had 5.4 yards an attempt because he had explosive plays. Well, I don't give a shit what it was. If he's producing explosive plays and producing, that means you should give him the ball more. If a guy's going, keep giving him the ball. But they didn't give him the ball out last year because running the ball was just not our strength last year because we tried to build a whole system around one person, and that was not our style at all. And we saw the result of that season. So I like that sign with him and with Sampson. To the quarterback thing now, though, I said this the other day. It's people in the comments that I think misunderstood what I meant, which was I said Dillon Gabriel, I think his experience has shown a little bit more in some ways over Shedeur. Now they're both very experienced. Shedeur had 6 different offensive coordinators in college. Dillon Gabriel had 7. Shedeur played 3 seasons of college football, played at a high level. So did Dillon Gabriel played, I believe, I don't know how many seasons, but Dillon Gabriel also played for I think 3 or 4 different head coaches, and he's also played 14 more games than Shedeur in college. That's like a whole season's worth. Not that does that really matter? No, I'm not saying it's some big edge and that he's better than Shedeur. I've said all along Shedeur's the more talented quarterback, and I think has higher upside to be an NFL quarterback. And so, especially in this system with Kevin Stefanski's system, which is in some ways similar to the system he played in with Pat Shurmur at Colorado. And so, but I think Dillon Gabriel is used to hearing other people's voices. I think Shedeur's been coached by the same guy his whole life, and his father, which is great. His father did a great job. He made all the way to the pros. I just think early on in what we saw in the spring and stuff, I think Shedeur was just getting acclimated, right? I think he's getting his feet wet. Now, the other day, though, you saw he just keeps picking up really fast. And he had a better day than Dillon Gabriel I think he had a better weekend overall than Dillon Gabriel from what I saw. And he was throwing some great passes out there and was starting to get really comfortable. And the one thing that Shedeur has that is hard to find, that it's not to say hard to find, but you can't teach, it's just something a little different he has, and that's confidence. That kid's got supreme confidence. And going back to the people we were talking about earlier that go around in chats defending every little thing or taking everything as an insult towards the kid. Take what the kid said in that press conference the other day as a lesson for everybody. He ain't worried about nothing. He said, "This is my opportunity for wherever I'm at, and I'm gonna make the best of it." Paraphrasing a little bit, that's what he said the other day. You saw that, Mike. That kid was up there like, I don't care. And that is supreme confidence. And he went out there the next day and showed that confidence. That's why I love the kid. That's why, you could criticize anybody about a lot of things, and there was things I was critical of, maybe in Colorado with certain stuff, but what this kid's confidence and just his attitude, the way he presents, how he talks to me, he's a very likable, very confident kid. And I think this Browns season, with how they look on paper and everybody's expectations very low, he could be the guy that really jolts life back in this organization just because of his personality. And if he goes out there, just plays well and plays, does his job, doesn't turn the ball over, it just, starts to shine and they start to, the offense starts to get a rhythm going or has something there that we haven't seen since 2023, that locker room will be all in on him. And according to certain people like Ocho Cinco and some other people who have talked to people in that locker room, they'll love the kid. They're all in on him. And so, and Dillon Gabriel, though, he has impressed too. Mike and I were actually pissed off the night they took Dillon Gabriel. We were live when it happened. And so we were all kind of pissed off. But I got to give the kid credit. He's done a nice job speaking to the media. Very impressive kid, very intelligent kid. You can tell he's very professional. And he's really handled it well. And he's overperformed. I think at camp more than I think a lot of people gave him a chance to. And so, and he does some things really well. If Dillon Gabriel was 6'2", 6'3", I'd feel a lot better. But that's, I think with him, it's just that height's always going to be a concern, especially in this division. Right. With it, I'm not saying he can't be successful, but it's also not ideal. And so there's a reason why there's not many guys at that height that have success in the NFL. It's just, not many. And so, not long term, and are great quarterbacks. And so, I think what's going to happen, though, I think Flacco's still going to start week 1 because he's a veteran. I think Stefanski's going to go with his comfort. I think Stefanski's got to get – the last time they were on that field, Mike, back last year, they left on a disaster. They got to get back on that field this year and have some stability. And I think stability starts with comfort. And I think that's going to be where he'll grow to – or Stefanski will go to first is the comfort with Flacco because he's a veteran. He's experienced. He has experience in that offense a little bit already. I think he'll go there first. I think Dillon Gabriel will be next up off that bench. Do I think it's a fair thing? No. And I think the reason why Dillon Gabriel will be next up off that bench, like I pointed out the other day in my episode, is because of this right here. Andrew Berry, his guy is Dillon Gabriel. It's very evident, very clear that his pick was Dillon Gabriel, and ownership, and maybe Kevin Stefanski really liked Shedeur Sanders and wanted Shedeur Sanders here. And I point out the reasons the other day why I think ownership really wanted Shedeur Sanders. It wasn't just because maybe what he could do on the field, but also I think because of what he produces in revenue off the field. It's a business at the end of the day. And I think this kid, when he's throwing equipment staff people the other day, or before practice the other day, what was that? Thursday and Friday, he's throwing equipment staff people. I did not like that. No quarterback should be throwing to any equipment staff people ever. So when I hear he's throwing equipment staff people, and he was their last pick in the draft in the 5th round. And I think Andrew Berry's guy is really Dillon Gabriel. I think Shedeur's going to get in some ways slight, even if he's better than Dillon Gabriel, which he had a much better weekend than Dillon Gabriel, I think. I saw him make throws that were very impressive throws for a rookie NFL quarterback in terms of just, especially that one he threw against on the sideline of the end zone. He's got really good pocket aware. He looks natural in that pocket. That's why I liked him in college. And he's 6'2", I think 6'2", so he's about good height, good accuracy, both accurate, but he's really accurate. But I just don't think he's going to get that chance first. I think Flacco will start out the season, but I think Andrew Berry, will make his self known that he wants Dillon Gabriel out there because I said the other day, I think Andrew Berry's on the clock. I don't think Kevin Stefanski's going anywhere. He's got the same agent as Arch Manning and all them dudes, and if that's what ownership's plan is Arch Manning, unless Shedeur maybe changes that. I think that's unless Shedeur goes out here and looks like the franchise quarterback this year when ownership puts him out there.
I think he's going to continue his plan with Arch Manning. I mean, I'm not saying I agree with it, but because I think these guys should be given a shot. I mean, you drafted two of them, why not give them a shot? But again, I think Shedeur. I'm gonna stand on it. If I was Shedeur Sanders, Mike, I'd be looking to try to go somewhere else because I just don't think he's gonna get a first shot here. Honestly, I mean, I really don't. He should have more reps. He's slowly getting more reps in practice, and maybe he will. But I just don't think. I don't see it. I don't see a scenario because they have to justify that Andrew Berry in particular has to justify that Dillon Gabriel pick. We took this guy in the third round, and when Flacco's not out there, or when Flacco's not going to be the guy out there anymore, we got to put somebody else out there, one of these two guys most likely, because it ain't going to be Pickett probably. They're going to put Dillon Gabriel out there first. Dillon Gabriel may play well. He may go out. Yeah. He may go out there and look like the next Bo Nix. And guess what? Andrew Berry look like a genius. But a lot of people might come out of camp that Shedeur had a better camp and that he maybe should have got more opportunity. And I think the only way I saw Garrett Bush said this the other day. Shout out to G. Bush. He said that he thinks, if I remember correctly, I think he said the only way really Shedeur Sanders is going to get out on that field this year is if it's forced upon from the owner. Because really, at the end of the day, that's the owner's guy. And I said the other day in my show, I think the real reason why Haslam took Shedeur was the same reason the Lakers took Bronny James. For mostly the same reasons. Obviously, the Lakers had to appease LeBron. But number two, Bronny James sold, I think it was 100,000 jerseys, I believe it was, or something like that. Or
yeah, it was a lot.
It was a total revenue before Christmas of last season. It was a total revenue of $50 million out of Bronny James, who barely played on the court, but he was producing $50 million in revenue. Jeannie Buss, that's a huge win for her. And so I think a lot of owners saw that, and Shedeur, I think, was kind of similar in a way where he was falling in the draft. Teams were passing on him. Whether we agree with it or not, but they were. It happened. He was in the 5th round, and I think the Browns had already selected a quarterback. And Shedeur's camp, remember in the video, if you follow the vlog, went well off that whole weekend when Dillon Gabriel got picked, they were pissed, and I thought they should have been pissed too because I didn't think Dillon was better than Shedeur. But a lot of people thought the Browns were off the table at that point. But there was only one way that they would have took Shedeur Sanders, and that's because I think Mike agrees with a lot of people who cover the Browns, and the people who have covered the Browns for years say this because we know how it goes here. We know how ownership is. We've seen it all. We know how they operate, and that pick was mainly a ownership pick. I want that guy, and I think the reason why he wants that guy is because I don't think he really believes in his GM as much, Mike, like he used to, and I think. I think that was his insurance policy for the season have interest because when the season goes, in the case the season goes bad and we get to, Halloween and they're out of the playoffs already and Dillon Gabriel, Joe Flacco didn't play that great and they're not winning games. Well, guess what? You throw Shedeur Sanders out there, everybody's instantly tuned back into the season and you're going to get probably a TV game or two and I'll be excited. And, and he's collecting all that revenue right now because Shedeur Sanders is the number one selling jersey. And all amongst rookies right now, which not surprised. And he needs some of that. He's got a stadium he's got to build, Mike. Just got to prove. So he's getting all that revenue. He's got that Watson contract he's paying out. It's working out well for him from a business standpoint. And so, but in terms of Shedeur, though, I don't think Shedeur is going to be given the chance to win that job for week one. And so even if he does win, because I think, Mike, we can be sitting there another week from now. He can continue off how he looked over the weekend, and he might be the best quarterback out of the bunch a week from now.
I mean, if he keeps building on it, I think Kevin's going to have the last say and be like, "Here, he's the best quarterback. I gotta give him all the Christian."
I could totally see that scenario, and I think Kevin should have the last say. But you and I both know, like it's been reported in the past, Kevin hasn't always had the full autonomy to make decisions, unfortunately, and that's a problem here in Cleveland. So we're gonna find out. I will say this: I wouldn't be surprised, like I said, if he does outperform all these quarterbacks the whole camp. Wouldn't be surprised at all. And I think he should start if that's the case. But I don't think he's going to get that chance because I think that guy there on the screen, I think Kevin, and I think Kevin, some coach, I'm not saying this is what Kevin will do, but some coaches are very elected to put rookies out there game one. They want to be sure when they put them out there. And so I think it's two things. I think Kevin will lean on the experience and comfort with Flacco because, like I said, the last time this team was out on the field, they were in a complete shambles last season. And I think Flacco, I think Stefanski views it as giving some stability in a way. But I think Andrew Berry is going to make it known. The GM's going to step down and say, I want Dillon Gabriel to play because I took him in the 3rd round. And if he doesn't play him, then we can have a problem. So
Right.
that's how I see it, Mike. But again, I think Shedeur had the best weekend. I thought Shedeur looked phenomenal. I think he's getting comfortable. I love the kid's confidence. I think his confidence is going to take him far, as far as he wants to go in the league. I got to ask you this, though, Mike. And going back to my point about why I think Barry wants Dillon Gabriel out there more. I think Barry needs Dillon Gabriel to succeed this year because that was really his pick. What did you think the other day of him when he kept going on about the speeding ticket? Because Andrew Berry's unfortunately, he's had some stuff with players throughout his career here. People have gotten in trouble and for more serious things. And he was always a little more mum on it, a little more PC on it. I heard people say the other day in the media that they felt like, and people that were there even, they felt like it was, they never seen him really kind of go. He was almost like he was indulging more on the speeding ticket. And I found that to be a little odd. And I think Shedeur probably learned his lesson. I guess, you know what I mean? He can't go out speed at night and all that. I'm sure Shedeur
Yeah.
gets all that. He's a good kid. But I thought Andrew Berry kind of really I've never seen him talk. We've had many people here with baggage, and I'm not saying Shedeur doesn't have baggage to me in terms of legal stuff. I'm talking, we've had people here with some serious stuff. Even right now, we don't need to mention name. We know what I'm talking about. People in the past. But I feel like Andrew Berry really was going on about that speeding ticket the other day. And I thought maybe making a little bigger a deal. He almost looked to me, Mike, like he was kind of I didn't want to pick this guy to begin with. Well, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I know some people have felt that way too. I know some people in the comments even felt that way in the video the other day. What's your thoughts?
I thought it was a little weird. But also, I think he's feeling a little heat from the Quinshon situation too. So I think I think it's a mixture of the Quinshon situation getting to him because he said, quote, he's losing sleep over that. And, with Shedeur's situation, maybe it is playing a little bit into it, but I think it was just exacerbated by the Quinshon situation. I'll give him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt, but it was weird. And also with Shedeur continuously playing well, if we're correct, and him really wanting Dillon Gabriel to be the starter, and Kevin's like, look, I can't put the kid out there. Shedeur's just better. I gave them both to first team reps, and Shedeur just is the guy. I think that would make him sweat a little bit more. But at the end of the day, if Shedeur ends up being the guy and everything works out, and Mason Graham and Carson Schlesinger look good, which are Barry picks, then he should take that as a win. He's like, here, my 5th overall pick is great. My 33rd overall pick is great. I was wrong on quarterback.
Yeah, I just think I think there's heat from ownership clearly. And when you're seeing these reports out there of Arch Manning and where else that could go, I think and who the agent and all this is the same as your head coach. You know what I mean? I think he sees the writing on the wall, like a lot of us are seeing it. And it's not a coincidence these reports got put out. That stuff came from somewhere. It came from multiple different sources last week. That came from somewhere. They got the green light to put that out there from somewhere. Now, and it's not a shocking thing either. Everybody knows the relationship with Haslam and the Mannings. But I think we're seeing a situation, possibly, Mike, where Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski are going to be trying to show them owner which guy they should play. And I'm going to be curious to see where the owner leans on. Is he going to give Barry one more year? Because Barry seems to be the most stressed out right now. Like he's on the clock. Like I said there, he's on the clock. Yeah. He has to win. He has to show some things this year. Or
Kevin looks chill, cool as a cucumber.
Yeah, and people that are there covering them in person have said the same thing. They said Kevin looks very laid back, relaxed, and this guy Andrew Berry, he looks a little more stressed out. How he's talking at press conferences is stuff we've never really heard him say before, like indulging on the Sanders speeding ticket, and that comment Mike made about he said he's losing sleep over the Quinshon thing. And I think the reason, like I pointed out the other day, a lot of people, I think he's losing sleep over it. And he kind of said it's because you put so much time and effort in that guy. He was really banking on that this year because really for this team to have success this year, Mike, no matter who's the quarterback, they got to get that running game going first because this team is their bread and butter when they've had the most success in the last 5 years under Stefanski is when that running game is at its best, and the offensive line's rolling and out. You got the running backs are playing at high level. Well, the guy you replaced Nick Chubb with, who was the hometown hero, Nick Chubb, he's not be playing a lot of ball probably this year. The way it looks, he's faced some serious stuff. So
Yeah, at most,
I could see why you say he's losing some sleep, because his job's probably in jeopardy. He's feeling some pressure from somewhere, and so that's gonna be really interesting to see what happens. Because I agree with you. I think there's a good chance Shedeur is going to outperform him and outperform both of these guys in camp. The way he's rolling this weekend, if he finds that confidence, which he has the confidence, but that confidence out there on the field amongst his teammates, and he keeps rolling like he did the last couple practices, we're going to be in a weird situation, Cleveland, because I'm going to be really curious to see where they go, because that's going to be. I think Flacco's the easy one that they can all agree on. Okay, we'll just start Flacco, but who's going to be that first guy off the bench? That's going to tell a lot of things. And
I agree.
I got a good feeling it's going to be Dillon Gabriel, because he has to play, because they have to get an evaluation, unless, like Garrett Bush said the other day, ownership says, no, I want to see Shedeur. And in that case, I think if that happens, if Shedeur's out there before Joe Flacco, I think it's probably one or two things. He probably outperformed Dillon Gabriel in camp, but also number two, Andrew Berry's going to be really sweating, because now he's going to be looking over his shoulder and going, okay, what's going on here?
Yeah, and at this point too, to your point, I think Jimmy is going to value Kevin's opinion far more than Andrew Berry's at the end of the day. I mean, you know, Kevin's, and you should, and Kevin Stefanski, you know, I think the offense, even though it looks shoddy so far in training camp, once they get the starter down, I think it's going to look a lot better. I mean, with the 2 tight end sets coming back, Harold Fanta Jr. looks excellent. You know, Jerry Jeudy looks like he's picking up where he left off. The running back room, I really hope Dylan Sampson starts from day one, because I think Jerome Ford is better as a third down back naturally.
I think Jerome will start day one.
I know he will, but it should be done.
I actually think he should start. I don't think Dylan Sampson should be put in that role right away.
I just think Dylan.
He's an electric playmaker, but I don't think they drafted him to be that guy. Like, they took another guy ahead of him that was more of a down-the-down back. Your bell cow guy, you know what I mean? I don't think he's going to be that in the NFL. Yeah. He could, but I just don't think that's what they're going to do.
Well, if you don't mind, Captain, I'm going to get into some of these comments.
No, I got her. I'm going to go down the list.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. He said, I lost out of $8,500 today. I said, damn. Gosh, dang.
Buy XRP. I'm not a financial advisor. Buy XRP.
I'm sorry to hear that, Parent John. Man. You got to start watching The Fix, bro. They're coming back in August. They'll get you straight. Right, Mike?
Yes.
Yeah. I believe Sanders will become a great quarterback. We'll give him the chance. Will it be with us? I hope so. Yeah, we'll find out. I'd agree with the first part. I think it can with the chance. Knowing us, we will cut him, and he will go to the Rams, sit behind Matt, and become a great.
I will say this to that, Paramjot. We don't cut draft picks even if they're bad. There's one. I mean, shit. We gave Anthony Schwartz 3 years, so there's one. Like red herring, and that was Siaki Ika, because he was just that not good. But like, I mean, hell, Michael Woods is still on the team. David Bell is still on the team. We don't cut draft people we draft. We just don't.
Is why I think, again, you'll see Dillon Gabriel out there. Just saying, you guys get the point I'm painting here. Shout out to Rory Blake. Good to see you. Welcome to the show. He said Barry got caught. Sanders is the real thing. He looked like it this weekend.
Looking like it.
Looking forward to this playing out. Looking forward to Shedeur starting. We appreciate it, Lori. Thanks for tuning in, my friend. And we're looking forward to Shedeur starting too. Looking forward to football in general. I can't wait. It gets kind of weird and depressing this time of year, Mike. I ain't watching the Guardians. So
man. I don't even want to talk about it. Don't get me started, please.
You want about depression? Just go watch that. Anyways.
We're back to 500.
Yeah. Man, shout out to Big Walt, Atlanta. I think that's ATL. He said, I made it this far. Hey, well, shout out to you. Thanks for tuning in. He said Andrew is dumb. He you guys give me some time. Andrew is dumb. He's the one who picked Watson, and that hasn't.
To be fair, he didn't want to do the trade once the asking price got raised. He did inquire at first, but he wanted to drop out of the trade, and Haslam took most of the culpability for that. So I will give him the smallest bit of pity there. Smallest bit, not all of it.
I don't think Andrew Berry actually strikes me as a cool dude. I don't think he's a.
Oh, I'd love to have a beer with Andrew.
I know you're not saying this, Parent John. I know you're talking about football, but he actually seems like a really smart. He is a very smart, intelligent guy. Ivy League, all that. But I just think the problem is when they come to evaluating talent in football, the whole reason why he got the job mainly is because Paul DePodesta, Mr. San Diego, the founder of sports analytics, the whole basis of his foundation is analytics. He told ownership at the time in 2020 when they were looking for a new GM that he thought Andrew Berry should have been the guy, and he preferred him more over the other guy at the time, who was George Payton. George Payton is now running the Broncos, and it's the guy helping him and Sean Payton are rebuilding that team up to what they become. Looking at a pretty good team in the future, too. So we took Andrew Berry over George Payton because Paul DePodesta, and this was reported by Charles Robinson and other people, prominent reporters at that time, and I played it on the show before in the past. There's the tapes of it and stuff and the reports. That's why he really got the nod. And I think a lot of their talent evaluation, in my opinion, is a little flawed because I think they go too heavy in the analytics at times. I think they have some people with eyes, but I think you look at some of their picks they've made, especially at quarterback in particular, some of the key positions where you have to have really more of an eye and a feel. I feel like they've gone a little too analytical. Dillon Gabriel led a lot of, I think he was like the most advanced metric quarterback. I think he had the best advanced metrics and won almost all the college quarterbacks this year, Mike. I'm not mistaken, especially the ones in the draft. So it makes sense why we took him, mainly because advanced stat. I'm not saying the kid can play. He played ball. He was a baller in college. I actually like the kid from what I've seen so far. He actually has a lot of talent. But why do we take him in the third round? I think mainly because it makes sense with their philosophy of drafting. Well, he was the leader in a lot of advanced metrics in college. That fits their philosophy. Just like DTR had a lot of great stats in college. Yeah, we took him. So, and again, that's why I think, like you said, Mike, I think that's why he will be, or like I said, Mike, that's why they could be pushed out there more first. They got to justify that pick. And so, and that's why a lot of people in the past, like Aditi Kikablaw, the CBS sideline reporter you guys have seen, she has a good relationship with all these guys and coaches and players. She said last year on the Cleveland Sports Show, I don't think Kevin Stefanski has the full autonomy to do what he wants to do at times. That's a problem because out of Barry, DePodesta, and Kevin Stefanski knows a hell of a lot more about football than those two combined. I'll bet the house on it. And so, not saying those guys don't know what they're talking about, but Andrew Berry is a coach, or excuse me, Kevin Stefanski's been a coach for a long time. Started up from the bottom, built up the right way, went through a pretty good organization, the Vikings, and played the game. And Barry played too, but Andrew really knows his stuff. And Andrew came up, his dad was an executive in the NBA. He understands a lot of stuff in professional sports. He has a good background with it. So I would lean more on him. I don't think you said that earlier, Mike. The locker room is not stupid if they want Shedeur. Kevin can't lose his locker room. Yeah, I agree. And shout out to you, Shanta. I see you subscribed. We appreciate you. Shout out to Ian Coleman for tuning in. If Andrew can't see who's better, then he should be let go mid-season. Paramount, who knows what's going to happen? I'll just leave it at that.
Here, I'd be for Andrew. And here, I've been less critical of Andrew because I've liked most of the picks he's made, But I will say if it's obvious Shedeur is the better quarterback and because of optics they still start Dillon, I'm all for Andrew getting the boot. Like that is a fireable offense in my opinion. Like it has to be.
Yeah, we'll see.
And I'm not somebody that calls for that. I'm not that kind of Browns fan. I am not the fire everybody, get him out of here. I'm not that guy. I'm actually the opposite. I am the most staunch defender of Stefanski. I've defended Barry. Don't really touch DePodesta much. But as far as like the GM coach, I'm not the fire everybody guy, get him out of town. It's not who I am. But I will say if Shedeur is obviously better through training camp, and Andrew still forces a Dillon Gabriel start, he should be fired. He should absolutely 100% be fired.
And that's why I said we could see some fireworks mid-season, because if ownership at the end of the day is going to get the final say. And if they feel like somebody's going to be a problem, either Andrew Berry's going to start looking for another house somewhere else, Mike, in another city, and just ride it out, or he might just get let go right then and there. We'll see. I don't know. That we'll address that. We'll keep an eye on it, obviously, but we'll see if it gets to that point. That's going to be interesting. He can go hang out with his twin in Philly. They kept saying nothing matters until the pads come on, and guess what happens tomorrow? The pads come on, baby.
Sheesh.
I can't wait for that. The narrative was Shedeur doesn't know the playbook, but he's been the most accurate. Then the narrative was he was facing a pass rush. Next episode of Dragon Ball Z his pads. Come on. Yeah, I don't know why people would say he doesn't know the playbook, Mike, when he just got here. He's studying the playbook. Like, of course he doesn't know because he's a rookie.
He got here before anybody else.
Right. I mean, he's got to learn. That's stupid for anybody to say that as a negative towards it. Of course he doesn't know it. He's got to learn it. He's a rookie. Although he has experience with it, though, because some of the concepts are the same as Shermer. If Shermer and Stefanski are friends, that was Shermer's OC at Colorado. He'll be fine. I don't think that's been an issue, Mike. But he did look accurate yesterday. So the pass, that's for sure. 9 picks on quarterbacks in 2 years, and another quarterback next season. Who's running the analytics department? Corey Feldman. Paul DePodesta, that's his name. Ian. And the Browns are the most analytically advanced. What's that?
Corey Feldman.
Oh,
80
the Browns,
backer.
according to the ESPN poll, the Browns are the most analytical team in the NFL. Use of analytics by far. You know who's dead last? The Buccaneers. That's where Baker Mayfield went. Interesting. He said no. Shout out to Brian Johnson. He said we are about to see if a new coach, a general manager, if we need a new coach, a general manager next year. Excuse me. I don't think they know how to develop quarterbacks or evaluate talent. And Brian, I think that's a fair evaluation, my friend. I've been saying on this show for a year, and I really look at that front office in particular. Him and DePodesta. I'm gonna keep bringing up DePodesta's name more. I know some people in the local media have downplayed his role and stuff, but he's outlasted everybody since he's been here in 2016. Every GM we fired, every coach we fired, every player we traded or let go, he's outlasted everybody. And he sits right next to Andrew Berry on draft day, every draft day. At draft day 1, draft day 2, draft day 3. Paul DePodesta is sitting right there, right next to him. So for people to downplay his involvement, I think is naive. I mean, it's clear as day. And I've done many videos on it where I showed all his involvement. He was the first guy out there after the Jed Wills pick when Stump Mitchell, who was on the coaching staff that time as the running back coach, said on his show, shout out to Stump and shout out to Ro Goldstein. We're going to try to get Stump on the show here soon. Stump said that Bill Callahan, the great offensive line coach we had, one of the greatest ever, he wanted Tristan Wirfs in that draft. Because remember, we needed a tackle Mike in that draft in 2020. Yep. That was the COVID draft. He wanted Tristan Wirfs. A lot of people had Tristan Wirfs number 1. I had Tristan Wirfs number 1. He was slam dunk the best lineman in that draft. And there were some other good prospects, but he was the first sure. You could tell because I was really good at developing those guys. He was lean. He was strong. He was just mean. He was most consistent. And I thought he would have been the easier guy to draft, especially in our scheme, because Iowa ran a lot of the same scheme. Iowa runs a lot of under center, play action type offense. I thought he would have fit right in with us. But Bill Callahan said that was his guy. And this is from Stump Mitchell, who was there with Bill Callahan, sitting right next to him. That was his guy. And the front office did listen to him. They went out and took Jed Wills. How in the hell do you not? So they trusted their analytics, their process over the Bill Callahan and his pedigree and his eye. And you saw what the loss of Bill Callahan was in 1 year of him leaving. That offensive line went down the tubes. And they didn't listen to him, Mike. I just could not believe. I mean, and guess who was up there saying, guess who went up there when they made the pick that night to get Jed Wills and spoke first to the media? Paul DePodesta. And you know what he said? We got the guy we really wanted all along.
Yep.
I got the clip too. I just couldn't. I'll never forget that. I'm gonna pull it up right here so people could see it for themselves. Right here. This is back in 2020 when they took Jed Wills. Right here. And this is the first guy up there as soon as they made the pick. If you haven't seen it, or you remember seeing this, folks, and remind you what I just said. Bill Callahan had Tristan Wirfs as his top guy, one of the greatest offensive line developers and coaches ever. And they went with Jed Wills, who's not even on the roster right now, 5 years later. And Tristan Wirfs looks like he's on the way to being a Hall of Famer. He keeps up the track that he's on.
I think I've already heard from AB and Kevin, but we're obviously very excited about what we were able to do, tonight in the first round. When I talked to all of you last week, we talked about, being a team that's really focused on best player available. And I think we ended up in a really fortunate spot tonight where best player available on our board happened to be a position of real need, on our team. So that doesn't happen every year, but we were fortunate that was the case. And, we're thrilled to get Jedrick on our team.
Best player available on our board. No, he's the best player available on your and Andrew's board. He wasn't the Bill Callahan's top player at the time. And remind you, folks, Tristan Wirfs got taken, I think, like 2-3 picks later to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and was a key part of them winning the Super Bowl the next year. So, yeah, he was the top guy on their board, him and Andrew Berry's analytical board, but not Bill Callahan, who knows a hell of a lot more about developing offensive linemen and an eye for offensive linemen than them.
Yeah.
Sorry for my rant.
No, it's fine.
But I just don't get. Oh my gosh. Anyways, I like Dillon, but I was at practice and he struggled with the ones can't see over the line of scrimmage. Yeah, Chantel, appreciate your insight being there at practice. I know that's a question mark a lot of people have had, Chantel, with his size. I think he has a skill set. I think if he, like I said, I told Mike the other day, if Dillon Gabriel was 6'2", 6'3", he would have been drafted probably in the early second round, possibly.
Oh, easily.
Because he actually is a very talented kid. He's got a big arm. He's very accurate. He's very smart. You've heard some of the reports. From the neck up, he's like a first overall pick with his IQ. Very smart player. But it's just that size in the NFL. I just don't. It's hard, and even being left-handed is not the big deal. But most quarterbacks are right-handed. All the other quarterbacks on that team, Mike, are right-handed. That is an adjustment for the receivers. The ball comes out a little different angles with a left-handed quarterback and certain routes. Not all the time, but certain route concepts and stuff. It's a little different with a quarterback who's left-handed than right-handed. So that's an adjustment in itself. And
right.
So, Andy's 5'9", 5'10", it looks like. Maybe 5'11" with his cleats on. I don't know. Debo can go too, to be honest. You already know what I think of that. Parmesan, you hit the nail right on the head. Nothing against the guy, but I just don't think. I think it's time for us to move in a different direction. Nothing personal. We need to move in a different direction. But go get Peyton Manning. How about that? Or somebody. I don't know. Wally Brown, good to see you, Wally. Our 330 fam. He said, "I'm in this." All right. Let's see here. Lots of balls on the ground from Dillon. My God, I am on cloud 9, my dudes.
Nice.
My God, why didn't you take Tristan? Yeah, well, we'll never. You talked about a pick they could never live down. That's one right there. Should have listened to Bill Callahan. What does he know? And they didn't even. And the crazy part too is, wonder why they didn't even try to stop Bill Callahan when he was. Because Bill Callahan, yes, he wanted to go coach with his son, but like Stump Mitchell talked on this too, who knew the guy and was on the staff, and Stump Mitchell obviously got fired, which I don't think he had really any reason to get fired because his running backs produced at a high level. They fired Alex Van Pelt when he was coming off that 2023 season when they made the playoffs with 5 different quarterbacks. But we all know why they fired him. Kevin didn't really want to fire them. It was forced down by Paul DiBedesta, reported by Albert Breer, to fire that staff because they wanted to build a staff around. They had to justify the Deshaun Watson deal they made because Paul DiBedesta was pushing in Haslam's ear. We had to run this whole air raid offense back in 2021 when they just came out of 2020 and had made the playoffs for the first time in forever. Now we need to go more air raid. We need to be more analytical. So let's go out and get Deshaun Watson, who fits that type of air raid style, and give the whole farm for him with all the baggage and all the stuff. He hadn't played football in a year and a half. And then let's fire the people that made the playoffs in 2023 when he went out and had success with all different quarterbacks. Let's fire them and bring in people. Let's install people that will run the scheme and the stuff we want to try to make Deshaun work. And it blew up in their face. They went 3-win. They were a 3-win team. And Deshaun obviously got hurt. To make it hurt, he got hurt, and the rest of the season was an absolute shit show. And now they're back to square one. And then what they do after the season, Mike, they immediately fired the guys they brought in, and those were really the scapegoats. And they were always the scapegoats, those coaches they brought in last year. And now they're back to square one. Oh, hey, Kevin, let's go back to what you do well, which we probably should have stuck with to begin with. But,
Right.
Yeah. Let's see. Shedeur got the highest complete percentage of all quarterbacks in minicamp, OTAs, training camp so far. That's pretty impressive. I like that. Barry needs to hit the pod to learn some football from us. You might be watching right now, Parent John. Who knows? He might be taking notes and everything. Does that? And who knows? Might be sitting there right now. Why? That'd be kind of crazy if he is, Mike. Why does this dude
That would be wild.
talk like he knows? Why does this dude talk like he knows nothing about? Or excuse me, my screen's okay. Here we go. Why does this dude talk? He knows nothing about the game of football.
Oh, Depot, yeah.
Yeah, talk about Debo. And in baseball, he didn't win crap either. Like, I don't get it. What type of okay. Yeah. I'll say this though, Parent John. It sounds like that era is coming to an end in Cleveland. I think Jimmy's starting to move in a different direction. If Dillon Gabriel was 6'3", is a big if. If my mom had nuts, she'd be my dad. Yeah. If my aunt had stones, she'd be my uncle. That's a good one, Ian. I like that comment. Shout out to Ian. I'm 5'2". He looks about 5'9". He is not 6 foot. I see him up close. Yeah, I don't. He don't look 5. He only looks. I don't. Whoever said he's up to close to 6 foot, Mike. He only look at that in pictures. He looks like he's about.
Oh, they inflate those numbers. Everybody
yeah.
knows they inflate those numbers.
Depot knows best. Am I right? Yeah, he knows best. She said, "You bet." That was a good one. But yeah, it's gonna be a great week this week, though. Very interesting week this week with Browns football. I'm glad it's back though, Mike. We got the Hall of Fame game Thursday night in Canton, Ohio, right here in Northeast Ohio. So football is officially back Thursday night, people. Just remember this: when football starts Thursday, you'll have a football every game. Football will be on every weekend till November or till February, excuse me. So start of Thursday is a good sign for all of us, Mike.
And I may or may not call the Hall of Fame game. But if I call it, it's all going to be in good fun because God knows I'm not going to know like the third string Chargers players. So you're going to give me some grace if I decide to call it.
Chantel says, I'll be back at practice tomorrow, guys. Going to see 12. All right. Shout out to you, Chantel. Chantel, you're going to be our reporter. How about that? You go there, scout it for us. When we come back on the show next time, I think Mike will be live on Tuesday on his show, Professional Fan Chantel. Come up there and give us your report from practice. How about that? We'd love to hear your insight. We like people that are there and can give their report. That sounds like a plan, Mike. I like that.
Indeed. Guardian selling, Permjot says, why? What happened?
That's fine. All right, Mike. So you got a report coming in on your show Tuesday. So keep an eye out. We'll get some people there.
Actually, don't tell me what's happening. I don't want to know what the Guardians are doing. It'll just depress me. Don't tell me.
I think.
I'll find out.
I know what he's saying. Yeah, the trade deadline. Yeah.
Yeah, we're selling. We're always selling. We never buy shit.
Yeah, are the Guardians selling? They've been selling since long as I can remember.
Yeah, don't tell me what's going on with them. I don't even want to know what the Guardians are doing.
Yeah, they've been selling for a while. Oh, selling on the field. You know what I mean? Just want to clarify that. Why are we acting like the NFL isn't ready for play action? The fans go to shock the league with a fake handoff, one valid receiver, to 108-pound rookie running back.
Here's what he does best.
Yeah, I mean,
and it works.
All about the pieces out there, though. If we have the right quarterback, you can expand more beyond that. Yeah, we could do a little more than that. I think with Tommy Reese in there, I know Tommy Reese is going to want to do a little more, add more flavor to that offense, a little more newer age.
Yeah, a little bit more flavor, a little bit more nuance.
Yeah, which is good. I think Tommy's an excellent young coach. I know people that know Tommy Reese from in the coaching industry. They said he's a superstar coach. He's great. So,
but I mean, shit. Kyle Shanahan went to 2 NFC championship games and a Super Bowl. The same scheme. So
all about, I mean, it's just we haven't had the stuff we needed to. The only time we had it was in 23 and 2020 when we had stability at the players and with the continuity amongst, and Kevin had the full reins to do what he wants to do. Think of that. The only time we had success is when all that stuff was correct. But our front office and ownership stuff we talked about earlier, they've made it in many seasons where you couldn't get it correct, and we saw the result of that. So, but yeah, I like what you said earlier too about The kid from Kent State, Luke. What's it? Luke Free. I don't know what butcher.
Froya, I think is how you
Froya.
say it.
Yeah, Luke Froya. I said you and I actually said it back in the spring when people said he was too small and all this. I said that kid's gonna make the roster, Mike. I saw that kid run some routes. And here, you can look at his numbers in college at Kent State. Kent State was one of the worst teams in college football in the last 2 years.
Yep.
And I know that because they were right down the road from us. I know players that played there, familiar with guys that went there. When Sean Lewis was there, they were rolling. But Sean Lewis took that job as the OC in Colorado when Dion took the job there. And they just kind of went downhill slowly. Last year, I think they were the worst team in college football history, or one of them statistically. So, yeah, I mean, of course, the kid didn't have a lot of stats because he wasn't in a good situation, but his talent is showing. And he may be smaller, but how many guys did the Patriots have all those years, Mike? Look at Julian Edelman. I think he was only maybe an inch or two taller than that kid, but
yeah,
had a league. If you can get open consistently and do your job, just like Bill Belichick used to say, do your job, and he can find a role in this offense. I mean, he's a shifty guy that we haven't really had that can run across the middle, Mike. So we haven't replaced Jarvis Landry since he left, honestly. That's true slot receiver. I'm not saying this kid's going to be a starter, but we need that in a way. A guy that can get open consistently, shifty, twitchy, can run all the routes fast. You know, maybe I could send him on a 9 route down the field if he's fast enough sometimes, if I can really crack into the cover 2. And everybody keeps talking about, too high safety coverage and all that. And people say we need to ban it, which that's crazy to me. It's too high safety's been around forever. You just got to know how to actually break it down and go against it. You got to have guys that can run up the seam and guys that can run a 9, guys that can run at the safeties that can crack that cover 2. We haven't had that in our team. You need speed for that. And so this kid's got some speed, some twitchiness. I think he can make the team, Mike. I think he will make the team because look at the rest of that receiver room. Outside of Jerry Jeudy, everybody's unproven. I mean, I think Cedric Tillman's going to be fine. I think he showed flashes. He just got to stay healthy. Outside of that, Mike, it's 2 receivers and everybody else.
Yeah.
So, of course, this kid can make the team. Because who the hell else is – I mean, what's his competition? We've seen David Bell's been around forever. Michael Woods, he's been around forever.
Jamari Thrash is his only real competition. Jamari Thrash might start over him.
And and if he does, that's the 3rd guy. So there's still a 4th spot. He could be the 4th guy at the bench.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to make the team probably if he keeps doing what he's doing, just because he's working his ass off, but he's showing up and being consistent. That's all we need. So I'm all for. I love that. I'm rooting for the kid. I like what I've seen from him too. And him and Shedeur seem to have a little chemistry brewing, Mike. That could be.
Oh yeah, I've seen it.
That could be That could be a little dangerous little duo. If Shedeur gets out there later in the year, he might start looking at that guy. Because remember when Baker came in, Mike, who was his guy? Rashard
Hollywood.
Higgins.
Yeah.
Hollywood Higgins. A lot of people they weren't really high on Higgins. I mean, they took him higher. Obviously, he was drafted, but before Baker got here, Mike, he was just kind of like an unknown. You know what I mean? He wasn't. We didn't really look to him that a lot. You know what I mean? We weren't as high, but Baker and him just hit this weird chemistry. And you see that all the time in football. These quarterbacks, they give with a certain receiver, and they just have this weird chemistry. It's almost like you can't teach it. And that guy starts producing out of his ass, out of his mind. And that's the quarterback. He's always looking at that guy when stuff breaks down. You know what I mean? So who knows?
Yeah.
And I like that those two are coming up together. All those times where Shedeur's been out on the field on that 4th field, whatever people are saying, on a little field off to the side, he's building that chemistry with that kid, and that might show in the season. I won't be surprised if it does show in the season. I know one thing: the fans will want 12, and will make it known in that stadium it was heard at practice. That's for sure. People are going there to see him, Mike, for the quarterback spot, for sure. I mean, Joe Flacco's always going to be a fan favorite because of what he did that year. Everybody he's a likable guy too, but they're going there to see number 12. That's for sure. He's number 1 jersey sales in all rookies. I'm getting sleep at 11, man. I'm getting old. Barry can't build a roster with 10 picks going to the quarterback position. He said, don't forget Deontay Johnson. All right. Yeah. Number 16 in your heart and number 16 in your roster. Who you're talking about there? Who's number 16? Arch Manning?
Yeah.
Who are you talking about
Deontay
there?
Johnson wearing 16?
Is Deontay Johnson wearing number 16? I don't know. I don't even know what number he's wearing.
I don't know. I didn't think he was going to make the team.
I didn't either. I wouldn't have signed to begin with, but that's just me. But maybe he'll do stuff on a second chance. But yeah. Well, Mike, It was a great show as always.
Absolutely.
Appreciate all the people tonight. Appreciate all the new subscribers. Chantel, Ian. We had some other. Let me go back. Let's make sure I get the names. Good to see you, Wally. My brother, Wally. Brian Johnson. Big shit for tuning in tonight. Rory Blake. Appreciate you for tuning in. We had a lot of new people in here tonight, Mike. Shout out to them. We really appreciate it. This is awesome. You know, connect all these people, Mike.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody, for joining.
Mike, why do you need to like, subscribe, and share if they haven't already?
Folks, thank you so much for joining us this evening. If you enjoyed this content, please like, subscribe, and share. It's free, and it helps out the show a ton. We're on our way to 500 subscribers. We're a smaller show. We're trying to work our way up. So if you want to help out just a couple of dudes who like to talk about life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, and sports, please like, subscribe, and share. Thank you all so much again for joining us. We love you very, very much. And Joseph?
Yeah, appreciate all you guys. Appreciate you, Chantel. She said Tiny Hands Pickett is hurt and Mushroom Toad is Gabriel from Mario Bros. Thank you, Brian, for tuning in. And thank you be back on Tuesday to report. I'm looking forward to that report, Chantel. So we're looking forward to it. Michael will have it up on his show. And we do drop the link as well. When you guys come up here and join us on the panel, either on camera or off camera. Tonight we were talking a lot, so we didn't really have time. Plus, it's getting later. But we usually do drop the links. You guys have the chance to come up here and join us as well. Feel free to call the hotline number as well if you want to leave a voicemail, and your voicemail will be played on the next show. And you can call and leave a report or leave your thoughts on what you think of the team right now. And again, that number is 216. I'll put it on the screen here. Do I still have that thing, Mike, in my thing? Oh, right here.
I think you do.
216-532-5550. Again, call 216-532-5550. And you can leave a voicemail, and we'll play your voicemail in the next show. And you can give your thoughts on all things Browns, Cleveland sports, whatever. Love to hear your feedback as well. And so call the number as well. And you can hit us up in the email and down in the description below for any thoughts or concerns or anything. So love all you guys. Like, subscribe, share all that good stuff. And Mike, what are you doing tonight? I'm saluting. What are you doing?
Right now, I'm in a jacuzzi. I'm in a jacuzzi I built with my bare hands, and I'm doing a handstand in the jacuzzi, saluting you all out of here.
Okay, we're just gonna leave. I'm out of here. Go.